Have you ever jumped to conclusions, creating scenarios that may or may not even be there, and making yourself upset for no reason? To understand how to stop overthinking so much, we have to understand what overthinking is. Overthinking is when you make up a scenario in your head based off of limited criteria and limited evidence. And so through overthinking, you fill the gaps of a situation in order to create a functional storyline and conclusion to give your brain the answers that it craves. It's important to now recognize when it happens and why it happens, and just pause for a little bit, because you could be going down a rabbit hole of emotion, of information, of time and energy into a fake scenario that your brain creates just because you want answers. And that will help you mitigate overthinking in the first place by acknowledging that it exists at this exact moment in time. Challenge your negative thoughts, challenge the accuracy, challenge the validity of these thoughts. That will help bring you back to a normal state of proper thinking and not overthinking. When we overthink, we tend to think of the worst case scenario that can probably hurt us in the most possible way, because that's our wall. That's the way we shield ourselves. That's our security mechanism. We're scared to be hurt. We're scared to be wrong. We're scared to have made the wrong choices. And so our brains think of the worst possible thing that could ever happen. And that's what overthinking is filling in these unnecessary endings or goals or decisions or reasonings to a storyline. And so it's up to you to step back and be like, could that actually happen? And will it probably happen? Or am I just emotionally invested in something and very neurotic, and I'm inputting a lot of my emotion into something, and that is affecting my perception of the situation? You know, and I know that overthinking takes so much energy. It takes so much effort creating all of these scenarios and decisions and what ifs in our head. It's very, very draining. And so something that I need to work on more, frankly, and something that might help you guys out, is to set time limits. Set time limits for how long you're going to think on a subject. I know that's hard. I know you're most likely not going to do it, but I definitely feel like it could help. So if you're going to think about something for a long time, set a time limit, let's say 10 minutes. And by then, if you have a decision, make one right then and there. Do eeny, meeny, miny, mo if you have to. If it's not a decision-based overthinking problem and it's just you just wandering off into a rabbit hole of what ifs and scenarios, then set a time limit still regardless. Say, I'm going to think about this clearly with a level head or emotion, leveled head, for 10 minutes. And then I'm just going to drop it and put my energy somewhere else, because overthinking can lead to hours of wasted time, nail biting, nervousness, anxiety, and you will end up at a zero-sum conclusion. You're not going to end up any better than you were, just probably in a more emotional state, and your well-being is going to take a hit. So set a time limit for how much you're going to think about things, and that should definitely help you guys mitigate that overthinking. And besides setting time limits, focusing on the present is also immensely helpful, right? If it's something that happened in the past, or something that's out of your control, or something that someone did, and you're trying to figure out the reasons why and how and when and all the details of the situation, you're not helping anything, because it's already happened. An action took place in the past. It's not even you, and it's not even in the present, and it's not even in the future. It's something that's completely already part of history that you cannot change, that you cannot help, and there's nothing that you can do about it. So as soon as you recognize that this is not in the present or future, and that it's out of your personal hands, out of your personal control, then you shouldn't waste a single minute thinking about it, because you have to accept things for what they are at some point. And some people go into denial. Some people will not accept things and just become angry and depressed. And fair enough. I mean, we're humans, we're emotional. There's a reason we have these emotions built into us. But as also logical creatures and creatures of reason and intellect, we also have to acknowledge when things are simply out of our hands and when to drop them and move on. So the sooner you guys realize, if it's not in the present, if it's not happening right now in this room or in a vicinity in which I can interact with it, or if it's not in the future, which I can do the same, there's no point in thinking about it any longer, and you guys should probably move on to something else more productive. And lastly, when it comes to overthinking, I think a lot of us have a more difficult time for overthinking now more than ever. Why? Because we have so much information at our fingertips that we can't help but overthink. We have a wealth of knowledge that we can search anything at any point, anywhere, anytime. And with our phones, with a computer, with iPads, you can find anything you want and information about it probably within 5 seconds. And that's going to lead you and hundreds of thousands, if not millions of people down a rabbit hole of overthinking, with information to back up your overthinking and with information to validate your thoughts. And it's going to keep you in this rabbit hole and keep you engaged in a subject that is not productive, that is not conducive to a positive mental health trajectory, right? So I think by limiting your information intake, limiting how much screen time you have, limiting how much you're not only thinking about a subject, but also typing about a subject online on YouTube or stalking people on social media. People do that. Set a time limit for that, and if you have to do it on your phone or manually, whatever the case may be, you're going to spend so many hours overthinking about certain things. You just have to choose at some point if it's a decision, or simply let go if it's not a decision. Anyways, guys, I hope today's video was informative. I hope this kind of subject resonated with you, and I hope you guys watched the entire video and got something useful from this information. Let me know down in the comments below what you guys personally do to help your overthinking, if anything, or if you even overthink in the first place. If you're that 0.0001% of people that don't overthink, let me know down in the comments below. Also, like this video if you guys enjoyed the video, and check out my other men's self-improvement videos right here on this channel. Thank you guys so much for watching. Once again, I appreciate your support, and I'll catch you guys in that next video.